10 red flags that architecture become a puppet of power. Architecture is never neutral. It can shape, inspire, shelter, but it can also be the most powerful instrument of propaganda. And here are the 10 red flags that architecture become a puppet of power. Hello everyone, my name is Ivana, I'm an architectural designer and I'm also passionate about history and sociology of architecture. Let's go. First red flag is when architecture turns monumental instead of human. Typical example, Nazi Germany, Albert Speer, favorite architect of Hitler. His Great Hall for Berlin to hold 180,000 people was designed not for the people, but actually for orchestrated audience. But you just see this monumental representative projects, buildings that have no soul, want to show you just power. Another example is Soviet Union. Stalin's Seven Sisters skyscrapers, power cast in stone. And right now what we see, Trump era, making federal architecture beautiful again. I mean, just hear this motto. I feel this vibe. I feel the same vibe. And also love to neoclassicism is another sign. So second step or second sign is when architecture style is not a choice, but a state order. So many people love Bauhaus. They buy even now vintage or replica to respect this style. In the 1933, under Nazi Germany, it was forcibly closed after police raided the buildings, arrested students, and sealed the premises. The official reason: the school's values did not align with Nazi ideology. In Soviet Union, avant-garde crushed in favor of socialist classicism. So what we see right now, neoclassicism, Trump era, and it's not about taste, and it's not about choice. It's just, it should be like that and not like that. Third sign, it's when the state picks its favorite architects. In Nazi Germany, it was Albert Speer. It was the court architect, shaping ideology in stone. He was the one who created those crazy plans for Germania, for Nazi Germany. In Soviet Union, one of them was Boris Iofan. So basically he was designer of the newer built palace of the Soviets. And what we see in Trump's era, a short list of conservative traditionalist architectural voices elevated to advise federal design. I found one and we have even articles about it. When architecture serves propaganda and not people. Crazy palace of culture, propaganda monuments in every city, stadiums, parade roads. Everything should be representative instead of actually comfortable for people, because actually not people have main role there. And it's fine if it's just representative buildings, but you will notice the moment when 70% of all buildings are only in one style, and it will be too late. Fifth sign, wow, we are already in the middle, when cities become stage sets for power. In Nazi Germany, Berlin planned as a world capital to intimidate. Modern Berlin is shocked probably right now. I mean, it is a world capital probably of club culture, but I'm happy that not for another reason. Soviet Union, Moscow redesigned to demonstrate ideological control. You may notice this in pictures. What do we see in Trump era? Federal projects framed as symbols of identity. US have so many areas for development in infrastructure and urban planning and comfort for people. But instead of that, we just will build this image of making US great again. I'm not sure if it works for the people who live there. Sixth step, when education is controlled or devalued. In Nazi Germany, architectural education was shaped to serve racial ideology. In Soviet Union, schools forced to teach socialism, realism only. Can you imagine? So that's exactly what I am talking about. And right now, architecture removed from the list of professional degrees. Seventh sign is connected to the third one, is when dissenting styles are erased. Modernism labeled as un-German, avant-garde called as bourgeois formalism. Donald Trump hates brutalism and he wrote it down. And modernist federal buildings criticized as ugly with political towards traditionalism. Eighth step is when public space become a tool of total control. For those people who read 1984, we know exactly what I'm talking about. So in Nazi Germany, it was clear: grand plazas engineered for mass obedience, Soviet Union wide avenues for military parade and surveillance, and what we see right now is increasing politicization of public monuments and federal sites, special design tied to cultural battles. Instead of making great public spaces and thinking about urban planning for the people, we will do it against people. That's where we go. 9 steps. Architecture is really a puppet of power, is just a tool of propaganda when architecture serves identity politics. Nazi Germany, you know what I'm talking about. It's Aryan imagery embedded into buildings. You see it in facade, you see it everywhere, you see it as representative image. In Soviet Union, workers' utopia encoded in facade. So many pictures, so many mosaics, so many different facade elements that are telling, that are screaming. You see identity everywhere. You see our ideology everywhere. And what we see in Trump era is that federal architecture used to promote a nostalgic nationalism aesthetic narrative. And now 10 steps. It's the last one, when government, when leaders treat architects as a tool, as an instrument, and not as professionals. In Nazi Germany, architecture absorbed into propaganda ministries. In Soviet Union, it was even more interesting. If architects don't follow the rules and the doctrine, they just lose their careers. So easy, right? And Trump era, official policies downgrade architecture professional status, a symbolic gesture that a profession shaping cities can be dismissed at will. So when regimes start shaping buildings to shape people, architecture stops being a public service and becomes a political weapon. And now you will ask me, Ivana, what is your problem? Why is it dangerous? And classical architecture looks so beautiful, it's so representative, it's so traditional, it's so beautiful. Yes, it's beautiful, unless this is the only way to build buildings. Because we have this choice, we have different tastes, we have absolutely different styles that are also beautiful, but again, it's a thing of taste. But when architecture becomes the official language of the state, it also defines how the nation think of themselves. And that's already a danger too. It also means that pluralism disappears, that all other styles will be prohibited, that all alternative local styles, immigrant cultural expressions are not anymore allowed. Dystopia. It's a little bit 1984, if you read this. And the last one, architects serve politicians instead of communities. And that's the danger we all live in. Because we are all people who live in countries, in cities, in communities, in districts. And when architects is serving politician, instead of you who are living in that exact house, in that exact apartment, that's the danger for you as well. So architecture is never construction or decoration, it's always communication. In good hands, it expresses public needs, cultural diversity, and democratic values. In bad hands, it becomes a weapon, a tool of intimidation, propaganda. The examples of Nazi Germany and Soviet Union showed how architecture was used to control bodies and minds. Recent US policy shifts under Donald Trump shows that even modern democracies are not immune to the temptation of using architecture as an instrument for propaganda. As architects, planners, or scholars, we must defend the idea that architecture should serve people, communities, and not power. Follow, like, and comment under this video if you want to see more of them.